till October. Andrew's best-selling omega product, the one that does not have the fishy aftertaste, and the world's most advanced multivitamin, of course, it is Essential1. However, tonight is a very big night because it's also the worldwide debut of Essential1's brand new look. It's Nuance Max. Andrew, I'm thrilled to spend tonight with you. This is a really big moment for a multivitamin that has been setting really the pace for multivitamins for many decades.
Well, for 46 years, there's never been anything like what we're now calling Nuance Max. It's called Nuance Max because we couldn't fit any more in that single, small, easy-to-swallow capsule. So the potency is unrivaled by any single dosage form like this. And Essential1, when I developed it in 1979, and I recorded a video on Instagram, on YouTube, where I went into greater detail, and I talked about the origins of Nuance Max, Essential1, going back 46 years. My first product was Essential1. And of course, it's evolved over the years as new nutrients, things like lutein, lycopene, zeaxanthin, vitamin K2, MK7, pyridoxal 5' phosphate, all of these different things that virtually no other multivitamin still contains today. But these have been that has been the evolution of this product over the decades. We might be here at HSN, but you will not find a better multivitamin in any doctor's office. You won't find another better multivitamin online anywhere. And also what makes this unique in so many fashions, beyond the fact that it's 100% additive free, we put no manufacturing additives to make our job easier. You get a pure product. No one else does that. But we make the product. When you see products on store shelves, when you see products online, 90+% of the time you're seeing a product that was made by a contract manufacturer. What is that? That's just some random company that's making that product for someone else. The typical vitamins are colorful tablets, enormous tablets, or now the latest thing are gummies. I was looking at some gummy multivitamins today. You have to take a few gummies. They're 15, 20, 25 calories, all sorts of chemicals. And again, low potency, not giving you the nutrients you need. This is a product that you can go online right now and do a search for 2000 IU vitamin D3. Probably half the products you look at, just the vitamin D3 at 2000 IU, which is the same 2000 IU we have in each capsule of our multivitamin, will cost you more than our entire multivitamin with 24 other ingredients in it, including a full B-complex, including our special B12, including high levels of non-acidic vitamin C, including lutein, lycopene, zeaxanthin, vitamin K2, MK7. There is truly nothing like this on the planet. If you look at the leading multivitamins, it's kind of disrespectful for me to say they're kind of a joke, but they kind of are.
Right.
The fact that they still contain artificial colors is an insult. The fact that they use forms of, say, B12, cyanocobalamin, that methylcobalamin is the natural form your body uses, that they use ordinary folic acid. Folic acid, almost half the population can't use at all. We all desperately need our folic acid, but typical folic acid, nearly half the population, it's a useless form of folate. But we deliver a form that everyone can benefit from, 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. If those other companies using ordinary folic acid are doing it out of ignorance, then shame on them. They should have someone who knows the science with some kind of medical background involved in their company. Mm-hmm. If they know that their folic acid doesn't benefit half the population, then again, shame on them. So this is a product that's designed to make a difference, designed to work. I've been making it for 46 years. It's always been head and shoulders above my competition. There's been years where I've changed it twice because new science, new research, new ingredients became available. And the pricing today, as I said originally, less than 20 cents a day. Yeah. You can spend more just on your vitamin D, and there's 24 other ingredients in here. And so I hope you take advantage of it today. You could also get the version with CoQ10, yep, where you're going to spend the least you'll ever spend to get another 100 milligrams of CoQ10 every day per capsule.
So this is exciting. I know for many of us, we stock up every single year and we get another year's supply of the best multivitamin in the world because it's easy, because it's full of benefits and it's so convenient. This is what the pricing looks like, and we're excited to share this with you. you. Of course, the big debut of the new look, new feel, new name. It's Essential1 NUONCE Max, 6180, or that 360 capsules. I know I'm not shocking anybody when I tell you that that's the most popular size. That's where the pricing normally is, and that's where the pricing is today. Better than a buy one, get one, as you can see, $69.90, free shipping and 5-plex. Andrew just mentioned it. For one time and one day a year, we blend it with extra CoQ10, and of course, all the extra benefits for heart, kidneys, liver, brain. It's right there. A little bit more, but really monster savings when you break it down. That's where the pricing would be. That's where it is. Andrew, dollar for dollar to get the extra CoQ10 really is a big benefit.
Well, it's pretty simple math. For, say, on that large size, for 360 days of this, it's $50 more. So 360 days, $50 more isn't even 15 cents a day for 100 milligrams of CoQ10.
Right.
In the past, 100 milligrams of CoQ10, back in the 1980s, we originally brought CoQ10 to America back in 1984. But back in the 1980s, you would spend more than $1 a day for 100 milligrams of CoQ10. So to think that it's a little more than a dime a day to get your extra 100 milligrams of CoQ10, that's just a fantastic opportunity. And again, when you look at our Essential1, when you look at NUONCE Max, and again, the reason why, and I went into it more on our Instagram and YouTube videos, but back in 1979, if you could think back that far, if you were here back then, I certainly was. Back in 1979, the word essential wasn't really used with products at all. And certainly back then, one a day existed, but it wasn't really all that popular. So the words essential in one, what a novel idea, what a novel name for a product. Today, if you did an online search, there's probably thousands of products with the word essential in it, and thousands more products with one in it, starting with one a day and everything else. So I figured I needed to kind of invent a name. And I invented this name over 20 years ago. And the reason why is the word nuance is typically spelled N-U-A-N-C-E. But we usually use it in a sentence when we're describing the differences in something. It's the nuance that makes it special. So when I think of this product, it isn't small difference, but it truly is the nuance that makes this difference. So, and it's also nuance in that it's, for most people, a new once daily multivitamin. So there's truly nothing like it when you look at the ingredients and, oh, just, this is a fascinating pricing chart.
Yep.
And so, and our pricing on these ingredients is really affordable. So if we look at the CoQ10 alone, that's $124.90 typically for 100 milligrams of CoQ10. We have that separate 100 milligram product. The price alone for the nuance with CoQ10 is $119.90. So you're getting the entire multivitamin for free. But the standard nuance today, NUONCE Max today, or Essential1, the price today for a year's supply, 360 capsules, is $69.90. That's the price of vitamin D on its own.
Right.
The price of B12 100 micrograms on its own, $69.90. That's the price of the entire multivitamin today with the 24 ingredients in it. Vitamin K2, MK7, $66. So if you just look at, and that doesn't even, lutein, lycopene, zeaxanthin, these are even more expensive ingredients. So to think about the value, and we have a chart from the Journal of the American Medical Association that talks about the wisdom of taking a multivitamin because our diet doesn't deliver what we need in all the nutrients. And you could look at things like vitamin D or vitamin E or vitamin B12. Depending on the study, you can find 50 to 90% of the population is deficient in those ingredients. So what they said in the Journal of the American Medical Association is not only a multivitamin more sensible, provided it provides appropriate levels of all the nutrients you need, which is exactly what we do. Not token levels, but real levels. But it's much more affordable. I think they had no idea how affordable it could be unless they looked at Essential1, unless they looked at NUONCE Max. When you look at the levels we provide compared to the leading brands, when you look at the levels we provide compared to those frightening gummies on the market, and again, just like artificial colors in your vitamin tablets, which are an insult kind of to our intelligence to give us unhealthy artificial colors to somehow make that vitamin tablet more appealing, gummies are no different. Gummies are just synthetic candy that's masquerading as a supplement. What we're looking at there are just some enormous multivitamin, the typical multivitamin tablets. Again, my product might not be a pretty color. Here, I'll show you here. It's a small capsule. I think Adam opened one there. Or let's see if we can get one here. Do we have it here? So it's a small capsule. I'll open it right on this table, which, by the way, the table I'm opening it on, when I was 10 years old and I'd come back from school and playing sports, this is the table I'd sit in front of and drink a half a gallon of milk and eat a bag of cookies.
Is it the same table?
This is a table has been with me ever since I was a little child. My mom wouldn't dare give away this table that was my little table that I sat at. So it's kind of great that we get to use it on the set here. I don't know, 60 years later. So quite a while later. But again, a multivitamin, I just was combing through the research today. Whether you're talking about cognitive abilities, whether you're talking about heart health, whether you're talking about eye health, whether you're talking about any of the things that define quality of life as we age, you could look at the ingredients, whether it's B12 or vitamin D, the various nutrients in a multivitamin, or just look at the studies on the impact, and there just were a few published recently on the positive impact. It's hard to imagine that the essential nutrients that define a healthy diet, that our American diet is almost defined, and it's embarrassing to say, our American diet is almost defined by the absence of those key nutrients. That is why the research, the science, reputable organizations all say the most common sense, conservative way to provide foundational nutrition based upon what we lack in our diet is a daily multivitamin with minerals, hopefully with carotenoids. And they also then talk about omega-3 fatty acids, which we'll be talking about in about 15 minutes. We'll be talking about that as well. But there truly is nothing in the world of multivitamins anywhere on this planet that comes close to Nuance Max. And by the way, if there were, whatever they were doing that made their product almost equal or superior, we would emulate. That I am not shy. I want to make the best product in the world. This has always been the best multivitamin in the world. There's no multivitamin that's more pure. I'm not sure how many multivitamins even in the world contain vitamin K2 MK7 or zeaxanthin or pyridoxal 5' phosphate for vitamin B6 or 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate for folic acid. These are things I've been doing for years or decades. And I think it'll probably be decades before anyone else chooses to do them as well, even though they're objectively, scientifically, absolutely required. It's not as though I'm making something up to artificially say my product is superior. Folic acid, probably 40% or so of the population can't use ordinary folic acid. Why would anyone use that at all when there's a form that everyone would benefit from 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate? That's what we've used. So again, the more you learn, the more you'll appreciate how unique, how different our product is, and especially on price. You could buy the separate B12, the separate vitamin D, the 200 milligrams of vitamin C. You could spend more for those 3 ingredients, either one of them, than you're paying per day. For the multivitamin on its own, it's less than 20 cents a day. For the multivitamin with CoQ10, you just add another dime or so. So it's incredibly, incredibly affordable.
So just to be clear for all those ordering, and we are slammed busy, folks. We see you. We have more time to spend on Nuance Max. We'll get to it in a moment. You can buy the brand new Nuance Max Essential 1. As you can see, $61.83.60. This is the pricing today. Once a year we do this. It's a big moment. The most popular choice, though, is not that. It's this. It's the one that gives you even more of Coenzyme Q10 for an extra $50 on that larger size. You get remarkable value for money, and you're really covering all your bases to an even greater extent. That's what I bought before the show, and I know it's what many of you are buying as well. Look, it's the time of year I look forward to standing here and telling you it's the best, because it is the best. We've all seen and bought Other brands in the past, perhaps Centrum one a day. When you compare those to these, there is only one winner, and it is most definitely this. I always proudly share that with you because I think for so many of us, the convenience of a multivitamin, it just works. It works for us, it works for family members. 1 capsule per day, I can do that. I can remember to do that. But if I'm gonna go to that extent to take a multivitamin, I want it to be as potent as possible. And 4 decades later, this is the multivitamin that sets the standard. There is no comparison. There is no equal. It is the best in the world. And Andrew, obviously you can see what I can see with nearly 5,000 people ordering, with thousands of reviews, vastly, majority perfectly rated. It is a one of a kind.
Well, I couldn't imagine anyone giving this less than a perfect 5-star reviews. Sometimes it's a review pertains to the shipment, a delayed shipment or something, but in terms of the product, I couldn't make a better multivitamin. Gummies are an insult to our health, an insult to our intelligence. Tablets, rock-hard tablets with all sorts of additives, artificial colors. Again, these are products that aren't designed with your interests at heart. These are products that are designed to be deceptive. Why do we need an artificial color? Why does that multivitamin have to be orange or yellow or green? Why do they have to be these enormous tablets when most of the ingredients in that tablet is going to be binders and fillers? So again, mine is just an ultrafine powder in a capsule. That color you see, that's the natural color of the ingredients. I was just going to read some reviews here.
Yeah.
The reviews on this product are amazing. And I think there's 2,100 plus 5-star reviews. I think that's out of about 2,600 reviews. So it's more than 80% 5-star reviews. So best multivitamin on the market. My entire family takes this multivitamin. That is 5 of us. I've tried dozens of different brands of multivitamins, and this one tops them all. Most vitamins are hard tablets that don't dissolve that well and are hard to swallow. Capsules are much better, and the quality of Andrew's vitamins is the best. And again, capsules cost more to make. You wouldn't know that from the cost of my product at less than 20 cents a day. For the nutrition you get that, and I'll show other charts, far eclipses anything else on the market. Best vitamin choice. I've been using Essential1 vitamins for several years now. About once a year, I do a detailed comparison of these vitamins and other brands to ensure I'm getting the very best vitamin for the money. I appreciate that. The more you learn, the more you compare, the more you'll appreciate how unique these products are. These vitamins always win in every comparison. I also appreciate these vitamins are made in the USA at such a highly reputable company. I highly recommend these. And again, with all the tariffs coming, it's nice that we make everything right here in the good old US of A.
Great point.
The best. I've been taking Andrew's vitamins for over 10 years. I admit to trying other brands because his can be more expensive. I don't think on a Today Special, it's hard to believe, but I always came back to his because of the quality. I try to keep track of his HSN visits because you can get discounts and free shipping as you do today. All products are made environmentally conscious. Again, 100% solar powered facilities, 0 carbon footprint. I highly recommend all of Andrew's products. That's from Roro, thank you, in New Jersey. Best vitamins. I've taken many of Andrew's vitamins over the last few years and always start with the Essential1, as Andrew recommends. No other vitamins work better for me after taking Essential1. When I see people buying vitamins in local stores, I want to stop and tell them how much better Andrew's vitamins are. Please don't. It's none of my business to stop strangers unless the opportunity arises that I can state my opinion. I've recommended Andrew Lessman's vitamins to family members. Very easy to digest, designed to be gentle, not just to most people, but even to the most sensitive stomach. Our vitamin C is non-acidic. Typical vitamin C is highly acidic. Ours are pH neutral, non-acidic, never without this daily vitamin. I looked at all 1 per day brands before I ordered this. It would take 3 competitor pills to come close to Andrew's 1 capsule. And they are huge pressed tablets with fillers. Mine are small, easy to swallow capsules. Andrew Lessman's vitamins are pure and still contain more vitamins than those. This is my second order. Plus, you get 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 with this, a real winner. Best multivitamin ever. This is the best multivitamin ever. So small and very easy to take. No stomach upset. Yes, more expensive than store-bought, but it is well worth it. Other brands have you take 2 a day or have one very hard to swallow tablet. Andrew has a good amount of vitamin D3 in his multivitamins. I highly recommend it, from Barber in Nebraska. Best multivitamin. I just love all of Andrew Lessman's supplements. Excellent quality and ingredients. Happy I got this when it was a Today Special. Great value and excellent product to maintain your health. I purchased this for years and take it daily. Highly recommend. I think at our Today Special price, nothing on the market could come close. Best vitamins ever, best multivitamin ever. I love these because they have all the vital nutrients needed daily, but without upsetting the stomach. I take one daily and love the fact that they are manufactured here in the USA. Keep up the good work, Andrew. Well, again, if you just objectively compare apples to apples, and I always say, you'd compare us to our competition, but it would really be unfair. There's really no competition. They don't use the right form of B12. They don't use the right form of B6. They don't contain vitamin K2, MK7. They don't contain coenzyme Q10. They don't contain lutein, lycopene, and zeaxanthin. It's just, there's no comparison. They have binders and fillers and colors. Mine is 100% pure in a small, easy to swallow capsule that will never upset anyone's stomach. So I'd say compare us to our competition, but it wouldn't be fair because there really isn't any competition, unfortunately.
And you listen to the reviews and you hear the energy and the enthusiasm and the passion, and you see it here in the studio, you hear it from Andrew. It's exciting because it's the best, unapologetically telling everybody who would listen that it is the best. It's always been the best. And today you are the first in the world to be receiving the brand new updated look. It's Essential1 NUONCE Max, and we are excited for it. You know, we all deserve the best, and something I've learned from Andrew over all these years is to look beyond the glossy marketing, look beyond the fancy advertising, and look at the heart and soul of what a product really is. What's on the label? What are the levels, the potency? What's really inside? I say no to low potency. I say no to artificial colors. I say no more to additives and fillers and binders. I say yes to made in America, and yes to made in an all solar-powered facility, best of its class in Henderson, Nevada. We say yes to all of these things, and we say yes to giving our bodies the best. And that's exactly what this multivitamin is. Andrew, like so many people out there, they discovered you through this product, and that is energizing. That's something to be proud of.
And it's interesting that, I mean, I shouldn't really brag about having started my company 46 years ago. It's nothing to brag about following Birkenstock that started their company 250 years ago. So I guess that's humbling. But I did start my company 46 years ago. I would say most people would consider me a little bit of a pioneer in this industry. I don't know of any company that offered glucosamine or chondroitin or CoQ10 or alpha lipoic acid or lutein or lycopene or zeaxanthin before we did. So I've been doing this a very long time. Just because I've been doing it a long time doesn't mean I stick with what I've done before. I change my products just as quickly as I did 45 years ago. My only goal is, if I do this, I do it better than I did it yesterday, and I do it better than anyone else will ever do it otherwise. So our products are designed to be different. They're designed to be superior. That's why we have to make them ourselves. 90+% of the products on the market are just marketing. They're just companies that have someone else make it and they slap a label on it. We make everything. We formulate everything to be different, to be pure, to be special. All the other typical products are all made by all the usual suspects in terms of contract manufacturing. It's not as though I'm disparaging my industry. I'm just telling the truth.
Right.
That my industry is populated by companies that do nothing but market, and they don't get involved in the hard, dirty work of actually making a quality product. That's what we've done. That's what we've done for 46 years. That's what makes us completely different compared to my competition. And that's something that I've avoided it like the plague. I will have a social media presence in the future just because someone needs to explain why we're different. With so many folks out there telling all sorts of silly stories, someone needs to have their head on their shoulders who've been doing this for almost half a century, that makes their products and doesn't hire some contract manufacturer so they can just make ridiculous claims about their supplements curing cancer or God knows what. That's not what you'll ever hear me talk about. I'll just talk about the straight, serious characteristics of my products.
The integrity, the credibility, it's why you and I are always looking at Andrew's products and always shopping for them, and that's what's happening tonight, folks. You may have noticed our clock expired. We're spending an extra 3 or 4 minutes here because we are seeing an unprecedented demand tonight for Andrew's big world launch of Nuance Max Essential 1, and we're excited for you to be the first in the world to get it. I want to remind you there's 2 options tonight. You can choose the traditional Essential 1 Nuance Max, again, up to 360 capsules. If you look at the pricing, this is better, much better than even a buy one, get one versus the 180. 5 flex and free shipping, saving more than you're spending. That's important, but the most popular selection by far, because it's not a lot extra, but you get so much more in terms of CoQ10, is the blended version, 6180 or 360. That's where the pricing will be, but for one day only, for the today's special, that's where the pricing is. A year's supply of the best multivitamin on earth for $119.95 flex and free shipping, again, saving more than you're spending. That's big, Andrew.
So for another $50, for $69.90, you get a year's supply of Nuance Max Essential 1. For another $50, you get 100 milligrams of CoQ10 per day. So that means for per day, about 14 cents a day, you're getting 100 milligrams per day of the world's best CoQ10. Right. The value on Essential 1 on its own at less than 20 cents a day is fantastic. To add another 14 cents a day to then get a year's worth of CoQ10 additionally, that just makes fantastic even better. But again, this one chart kind of spoke volumes. And if you go online, and you just did a quick search for B12 100 micrograms, and you didn't even look for our special methylcobalamin, which is the natural form your body uses, in the typical cyanocobalamin, what you'll see on the market, which liberates trace amounts of cyanide if your body metabolizes it at all. But when you just look at, and remember, this is not on that pricing chart. We also have vitamin A in the product, vitamin E in the product, which is natural. Most companies use synthetic. But if we can go back to that chart, we also have B1, B2, B3, B5, B6 in its special form. There's 24 nutrients in that product. We're just looking at 7 of them. Right. And the 7 of them, it's over $400. So just vitamin D on its own, if you just looked online, and before I came in to do the show, I did a quick search for vitamin B12, for vitamin K2, and for the vitamin D. And the cheapest products I saw quickly were a little over a dime a day, up to 30 or 40 cents per day for one of those nutrients. Mind you, you're getting all of them, and 24 others. So it's an extraordinary value. You will not find a multivitamin that even comes close to this anywhere in the world. And it's foundational to good health. No matter how much we try, our diet doesn't deliver the nutrition that it used to in past decades. And again, the way we live, it's challenging to eat a diet that's going to deliver the vitamins, the minerals, the carotenoids we really need. Essential 1, Nuance Max, makes it easy, 2 seconds a day, to give your body what it needs. We talk about a nutritious diet. What defines a nutritious diet? The vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients that make it up. And these are the foundational ingredients that make for a nutritious diet.
You go to the dictionary and you look up the definition of comprehensive, and you will see, you'll say right there, Nuance Max Essential 1, the most comprehensive, which is what you want in a multivitamin by far. We want to thank you so much. It means the world to Andrew and I and the whole team. Stay in the ordering process for yours. Let's get this home. You, obviously, for you, for the whole family, a multivitamin that really does what we want it to do, and that's deliver the most benefits. Let's go this way. There's more coming up, including